Let's talk about God. I have never been much of a religious person, um, but it's interesting how I've experienced the ebbs and flows of the unimportance and importance of having God in my life. Jesus Christ, the Christian Bible, the Catholic Bible, Christian church, whatever you want to call it. Um, I want to talk about this topic because, it's becoming important in my life now, mostly because it's a good way to give a foundation to children, having a family. And when you are single or you are sort of used to only taking care of yourself, you begin to sort of realize how many things are missing in a child's experience. Because I just thought, make money, put food on the table, try to be a good example. It's a lot more complicated than that. So I have to say that coming back to God or coming back to the Catholic Church and trying to find a way to sort of teach it and instill it in my children while they're still young, I can say that I'm glad it's not too late. I will say, too, that there was another time where I had this experience is when my mom died. And when my mom died, I kind of felt pushed into a corner where I had to believe. Because if I didn't believe, it was almost like if my mom died, she went nowhere, right? So it was sort of like the only reason why I can believe, reason why I believe is because I know that if I die one day, I will see my mom again. So that was sort of something that was important to me. But I think it's sort of fascinating, me being a marketer, because that's really what I am. I am a advertising person. What has allowed me to sort of hack the human psyche and learn how to sell things and really learn how to look at data and sell lots of products and produce profits for clients and myself is being able to understand what resonate with people. And God, Christian religion, plays a huge role in our lives, whether we want to believe it or not. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. I think the reality is it's a book of rules, or a book of stories, I should say, that have rules that are created by other people and interpreted in different ways. But net, it's a net positive for the world. Now, the way people express it, of certain views, of certain groups of people, I mean, can be polarizing to some extent, but it's a pretty good framework considering, right? It's not without its flaws, of course. The other option is Stoicism, right? I mean, in my limited worldview, because there's a lot of other religions and practices out there, but Stoicism is something that I kind of turn to as well. But I'm getting off topic here. I want to focus on Christian religion. There's just a lot of good stuff in there. And, I took a lot of it for granted, but it turns out it's not always that easy to teach general morality. Or maybe it is for some people. I don't know. Maybe it's something that other parents or dads can do or other moms can do. I always think that's more of a good motherly thing that can be done. Or maybe I'm just not a good parent. Or maybe I'm a very inexperienced parent. 3 children. I think the truth is, and this is what I learned about business, even those that are very wealthy and rich, is that they're just figuring out as they go along, and parents are the same way. I just think it's the irony is I used to make fun of these parents that wouldn't let their kids watch Harry Potter because of witchcraft or why, I just think was ridiculous. And then that they would limit their electronics or not let them have a smartphone, right? And now, having kids and kind of getting older and having them get older, our children get older, my views have changed. I'm starting to become that parent that I thought was sort of lame. And I almost, to some degree, wish that I became that parent sooner. You only know this till later, that you don't realize how. I mean, if your parents were around when you were an adult, and even if they are, and even if your parents weren't that great of parents, and they're still alive and you're an adult, I think what's great about that is you get to sort of learn from all their mistakes of all the things you don't want to do. And you also kind of learn to, you learn from all their mistakes, and you also learn what you don't want to be, right? If they're not that great. If they're great, well, then all the things that you aspire to be, right? So there's all that too. And I think that's definitely one of the things that I kind of wish I had, is to be able to have that. Because my parents are out of my life and have been since I was a teenager. And I kind of wonder, like, what life would be like if I had good parents. I mean, I'd probably have a different spouse. I'd probably have a whole different life. So you really can't, chicken or egg thing, right? You can't really take one without the other. But those are just some of my thoughts. Maybe I'll ramble about it more again later. But I've hit my 5-minute mark, or over my 5-minute mark. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.